Okay, so let's go into the top view this time. Hit F3 and turn our transparency on. Okay, and this is going to be more of the same here. Let's get rid of this realistic shading first. Okay, so we're pretty much going to follow the same approach as we have on the two sides with this piece. We don't need to put this cut in here because that's not actually on the iPhone 4S. So just these two holes as well as this on-off button here. Right, so we're going to go over to edge and let's just add an edge in the center first. So ring and connect. 1/7, no pinch, no slide. Okay, and I think just to avoid any problems here where we have this kind of curving over on the top with this edge here, I'm actually going to move the hole just slightly over to the right so that we don't have to manipulate this edge. I just don't want to screw up the curve on top. And we could probably get it in there, but it's going to be a lot more work, so I think we can just slightly move the holes over. And it's not really going to be noticeable on the phone. So I think we'll just do that to make it a little bit faster. Alright, so let's add a couple of additional segments here. But before we do that, let's actually just toss in our good old circle here so we can follow it as a guide. Alright, so drag that out in the center. And take the steps down to 1. Change the color to black. And we'll just kind of figure out the size here. Looks like that's pretty close. Let's do about maybe 15.2. Whoops. And again, we want to make sure that it's centered, so we'll zero out the y-axis. Okay, and we'll just slightly move it over from that edge there. Maybe something like that. Okay, and then we'll go back, reselect our top mesh there, back to edge, grab those edges and connect, and slide that over. And we'll stick this one right about here. I'm going to actually kind of even it out here between these two holes. Alright, we'll actually clone our circle here first. Shift drag that over as a copy. And we'll just scale this one way, way down. Okay, it's going to be a little bit extra work here because we have drastically different size holes right next to each other. Okay, so we're going to have to do a little bit more work than we normally would on the edges. Okay, I'm just trying to look at my actual phone here to see how big that hole is, and it looks pretty tiny. So let's crank it down a little bit more. Let's do maybe about 2.6. And I think that should be about the right size. Okay, so now we'll add some extra edges here, so reselect that mesh. Let's grab these ones here and connect them up. Move this over. And we'll just put it pretty much right next to that sucker. Okay, let's loop this edge. Move this over like that. And then let's add maybe another one here. Maybe right about there. I think that should work fine. Okay, and you guessed it, one more edge here in the center. And again, I think we should add another edge side to side here so we don't connect these corners up to that support edge. Alright, so we're going to do another ring here. And let's actually just do both these at the same time. Okay, we're going to have to be mindful that we're going to need to have edges connecting to this hole as well. Alright, let's maybe just trying to figure out if we should ring it all the way around or we should stop it at this edge. Well, let's just do all of them. Okay, so another connect with two segments. Gonna pinch those out. And I'm gonna get that a little bit above the top of that circle. I don't want to go too close to the outside, but I don't want to have it too close to the circle either. Alright, so we'll do maybe like 80 or so with two segments, and okay. And we don't need these center edges again, so we'll just loop these two and control backspace them out. Okay. And like I mentioned, we're going to need to do some work on the edges around this one. Alright, so let's just temporarily maybe connect these two edges by themselves with one segment. And we're just going to move this down and kind of adjust the spacing here. Same thing with these two edges on the bottom, connect those up. Let's do it right about there. For the center here, we'll just go right around, so just ring it and connect it. Okay, that'll give us the 4 edges there we need. Okay, and we're going to need to obviously terminate these edge loops here coming out in a minute. So let's maybe connect these edges up one more time. Move that over. Okay, I'm just going to get an extra one here, which we're going to need later on. Okay, but for now I think we can actually cut these 2 holes in. Okay, so same process here. To your snaps on, use cut, and let's cut each of these in. And same thing on the small one. Okay, then right click to end it, turn off cut, turn off snaps, hit H, grab those 2 circles, and delete them. Okay, so now we'll connect some of these up. Let's go to vertex, and we'll just connect the circles corners to those ones again. So just connect those 2 verts on each of the 4 corners. Okay, and we'll do the same thing here, connect these up. Okay, and I'm actually going to move this over slightly because we moved over the headphone jack there. I'm actually going to move this a little bit over to compensate for that distance that I moved that. Okay, so grab these edges, or all these verts around the hole, everything but this edge here. I'll just slide this down just a little bit more. Okay, not much. We want it to be as close as possible. Okay, and let's also move this edge maybe just a little bit over to the right, about the same distance. And now we're going to have to terminate some edge loops here so we don't have these verts just ending off here, making this an end-on. Okay, so let's maybe grab edge, and we'll just select these edges here and here and here and here. Okay, so just hold down Control and connect those up. Okay, one segment, no pinch, no slide, so it's right in the center. Okay, and now we can actually attempt to terminate these edges. I'm just going to get rid of the transparency here so it's a little easier to see. And we're going to use cut, and we'll leave our snaps off for this one. We're just going to cut it from this corner vert here over. Okay, try to get it straight and straight back up to this outer vert there. Okay, over and straight up. And then we'll just do the exact same thing down here, over and straight down, and over and straight down. Okay, and right click to end those, turn off cut, go to vertex, connect these pairs up to the corners. And if you want to, you can straighten out some of the edges here, but that's not a big deal at all. Okay, so that'll terminate our extra loops there without continuing them over into this circle, which we definitely don't want to do, else we're going to have a flat spot on it. Okay, so I think that looks pretty good, and that should work fine for us. Alright, so let's move over and we'll take care of the on-off button here. Okay, so same process. Grab a couple of those good old circles and draw those out. Okay, do about 8 or so on the radius. Change the color to black. Make sure we have it centered on Y. And we'll just move that over a bit to right about there. Okay, and I think that's right for the radius. Yeah, we'll just shift drag it over to the other end, and again I'm going to leave it a little bit over from that edge we have here. Alright, that's good. And we'll add some extra segments here. So back to edge, another connect, move that over about the same distance at this away from this circle as that one is from that circle. Right about there. Let's add one maybe right in the center. And we'll add a couple on each side. Okay, so another connect. Another connect here. Okay. And we also need some edges to support it here, so let's maybe grab these edges here. We'll just ring these for now. Okay, I'm going to deselect the ones over on the side. We don't want to affect that at all. Okay, so we'll just stop at this edge here and have it all the way down to the side. Okay, and I think we'll just connect that up with 2 segments. I'm just using 2 so I can adjust both loops at the same time on each side of the center. Okay, if we just do one, it's going to slide in opposite directions if we try to do it like that, so that's not going to work. So that's why I've been using 2 and pinch. Okay, so we'll kind of pinch those down a bit. Alright, we're going to take out the 2 centers, so we're just going to use the outside ones. Alright, so I'm going to line it up something like that, and then loop these 2 edges out. Control backspace. Now we'll just cut it in, so back to cut, turn on your snaps, and again, just trace this outer left side of the circle here, skip the right side and go right over to the right circle. Trace the right side of that one, and right back to the top of the left one, and right click to end it. Okay, so hit H, take out the circles, and delete them. Okay, we'll turn off our snaps, and again, we'll just connect up these corners. Okay, and again, we're going to need to terminate some edges here, so let's maybe add a couple of additional segments over in the center here. And let's do maybe 3. No pinch, no slide, no K. And I think we'll just terminate these loops in a similar way. Let's add maybe one down the center here. Let's deselect that center edge, connect that up with 1 segment, okay, and then we'll just make a similar cut as we did before, out like this, up to that center edge, and then back to this corner, and then same thing on this side. Okay, turn off cut, and just straighten those edges out if you want. Okay, and same thing here if you want to straighten that one out, but it really doesn't matter. Okay, so that should terminate our loops here. And just to make sure we have everything welded together, I'm just going to select those again and just do a really small weld on them. Okay, and you can see we actually have a difference here of 1, so somewhere that cut didn't actually stick to the vert, so we just want to make sure we get those. And we'll do the same thing over here on these ones. Okay, and we got 2 there that we missed, so that's good. And around this hole as well. And I think those ones are probably fine. Okay. Okay, so I think that'll take care of all the cutting. Now we need to actually punch the holes in again, which we'll do in exactly the same way. So back to polygon, let's grab these 4. We're going to do these separately so we can adjust the inset amount. Zoom in a bit, and inset. And again, we'll do that pretty tight, and we'll do it twice. Okay, and then over here, we'll do the same thing, just to make sure we keep this hole as crisp as possible. And so I'll take that down a bit. Something like that should be good. Alright, so let's just plow both of them in at the same time. Okay, so with those 4 polygons selected on that one, just select the 4 for this hole, and extrude them in. Okay, and again, the heights really doesn't matter because we're going to have to take out the inside of this hole anyway so we can create the actual headphone jack piece that goes in there. Alright, so I'm actually going to plow them down quite far for now. And I'm going to leave the small hole here capped at the bottom so we don't have any light coming out. So I'm just going to deselect those polygons. Actually, let's apply that first. Deselect these ones and then delete these ones off. Okay, and then we need to add a little bit of support on the inside. So ring these ones, connect that up, slide it up to the top, and the same thing over here on this one. Okay. And same process over here on the on-off button. Just grab the 8 polygons that make that one up. Go to the top view here. Do a couple of insets around this one. And punch it in. Okay, and this will have the button in there, but I'm going to leave probably the bottom polygons on this for the same reason, so we don't have any light coming out. Alright, so we'll just plow it in, maybe something like that. Hit OK, and then inset on the bottom for a support edge, and then 2 support edges on the sides. So ring and connect, no slide, 2 segments, pinch them up, and OK. And we'll test smooth this, make sure we got everything. Okay, we look pretty good here. Alright, and we actually didn't inset the bottom of this little guy here. So let's turn off the turbo smooth, drop back down into polygon. Just grab those polys in there, zoom in on them, and inset that. Okay, now I didn't add support edges on the side here at the bottom either, so I'm going to need to do another ring, another connect, 1 segment, slide that down. Okay, then we'll turn our turbo smooth back on. Okay, and I think we look pretty good here. Looks like the shapes are holding up. Alright, so now we actually will have to create the buttons as well as that headphone jack port there. Okay, so now would be another good time to save.